Hello, my name is Jamie Long, and I'm recording this for the Acts of Outrageous Love writing group, which meets weekly at one church. And they asked me to tell my story of a shift towards an evolutionary and a new universe story worldview. So this is for you. Thank you, beloveds. I hope this just takes a few minutes. I just wanted to share my story with you. It starts in 2013. I was just about 49 years old, and I work daily, kind of my conventional worldview, a humanist, and that I kind of seek out in the exterior world success and trying to make myself happy. And I have a few loved ones in my intimate circle that I care about and that that we protect and try and make happy. So at that time, in 2013, a new group called Cosmos started at the First Unitarian Church of San Diego, where I attend. And so a group of 20 of us began, and over a period of about 2 months at the very beginning, I slowly shifted to what I call this evolutionary new story. And so I made a little video of some of the insights I had. So let me share my screen, and I'd like to show you. Okay, so this is a Cosmos, and this first clip is from Brian Swim.
How are we going to tell the story of life? How did it all begin? What theory shall we offer to explain this? The simple truth is that no one knows with full certainty. But even though the detailed explanation still eludes us, scientists have begun to approach the whole question of life from a radical new perspective, that of self-organization. You see, during the modern period, we thought of the world as machine-like, and then life was an accident. But now, with the work of a number of chemists, notably Ilya Prigogine, who won a Nobel Prize for this work, we are beginning to discover the active patterning in matter itself. It's intrinsic to matter. From this new perspective, life is not an accident. Life is inevitable. A planet reaches a certain complexity of its matter, and then life blossoms forth, quite naturally. Consider whirlpools. This spiral, swirling action can appear anywhere, so long as there is a body of liquid moving water. It is not the water itself that endures as a spiral, because the water molecules are constantly flowing in and out of the whirlpool. It is rather the emergent dynamic structure that endures.
So this is the room in which I watched this video called Journey of the Universe by Brian Swim. And what struck me on that first meeting was this idea of self-organization. I had never heard that term before. So I went and Googled it. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos. I think I signed up for a course from the Santa Fe Institute on complexity theory. And so the idea that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, and that cooperation among elements can create newness, can create new properties in the universe, called emergence. So this idea of creativity and emergence just was incubating. And so I was learning, curious for a few months. And so 2 months, we met monthly, and then 2 months later, we watched another video, and which kind of emphasized the emergence of galaxies. And so this idea that the universe, there were no galaxies, and then all of a sudden galaxies emerged. And so this incredible creative act. And so I'd like to show another clip. about that. So another minute or so.
One of the physicists who is reflecting on this is the celebrated Freeman Dyson. And he mused that the more he reflected on the structures of the early universe, the more he became convinced that in some sense, the universe must have known from the very beginning that life was coming. The light from the beginning of time has been traveling for 14 billion years. Meanwhile, life has been evolving. With the recent emergence of advanced technology, we are at last able to see the story these photons tell about the birth of the universe and where we ultimately come from. Morning on a Greek island is like the first day of creation. And wandering around here, you feel like the first person. Inevitably, humans would ask, what gave birth to all of this beauty? What was the form of creativity that brought this forth? Consider galaxies. What brought the galaxies forth? You know, even a century ago, this is hard to imagine. We didn't know if there were 2 galaxies in the entire universe. That was a main focus of attention among scientists. Now we know there are 100 billion, maybe even 1 trillion galaxies. What is the creativity that brought forth 1 trillion galaxies?
Okay, so those are the clips that I wanted to share. And so the idea that came to mind immediately when I thought about the creativity of newness emerging in the universe was that, wow, anything that I attribute to creativity and divine in some kind of, I grew up in a Christian, conservative Christian, there's creativity comes from a God that kind of injects creativity into the universe. And so my immediate thought with self-organization and with the story of an evolving universe, that, wow, anything that anything I had formerly attributed to a creative God doing on a passive universe, a dead universe, now the universe intrinsically can create. The universe itself became creative, and in that moment, the universe became sacred. And I just fell in love with this idea of, hey, I can join together with other people and be just as creative as those atoms and stars that created galaxies, billions of years ago. And it's the same process that emerged from the beginning to create all the beauty we see now is the same process that I can participate in with all around other people, with the water, with the sacred air and this animals and life. So a complete shift, and just and so that evolutionary worldview, I've really found a home in the Dharma of one church, where the universe is a love story, and that we are evolving the human species for the evolution of love, and for the emergence of a new species of human, Homo amor. So that's my story, and thank you, writing group, and I'll see you again soon.